On the coldest night of the year, when the entire town hid behind frosted windows and locked doors, a lonely woman pulled over for a man who looked like he had already given up on life. She almost kept driving, but one small act of kindness unraveled a secret that melted the winter around them. The storm had moved in faster than anyone expected. Thick sheets of snow whipped through the quiet roads of Willowbridge, turning familiar houses into ghostly shadows under the streetlights. Natalie drove slowly, her fingers tight on the steering wheel. She was 38, newly divorced, and spending her first winter completely alone. Her heater rattled weakly, and every breath formed a thin cloud in the car. She whispered to herself, "Just get home, hot shower, thick blanket, you're okay."
But then she saw him. A man in his late 40s stood by the roadside, snow piling on his shoulders, hands shoved deep into his coat pockets. His head was bowed, and he looked like he'd been standing there for hours. No car, no bag, no movement. Natalie's instinct screamed to keep driving. Her heart didn't let her. She pulled over. He looked up, his eyes red from the cold, his lashes dusted white. She lowered the window barely 2 inches. "You okay?" she asked cautiously. He hesitated, then nodded. "Car died. I've been trying to get a tow truck, but the storm shut everything down. I didn't think it would get this bad." His voice cracked a little, not from fear, but from exhaustion. Natalie glanced at the empty, frozen road. "I can take you into town, but that's it."
He nodded gratefully. "That's more than enough. Thank you." When he settled into the seat, she noticed him trembling. His clothes were damp and his knuckles were purple from the cold. They drove in silence for a while, the wipers fighting the snow. "You live here?" he finally asked. "Yeah," she replied. "You?" He cleared his throat. "I used to. I left about 10 years ago." The way he said "used to" carried a weight she didn't dare unpack. When they reached town, every storefront was dark. The power outages had swallowed everything. She bit her lip. "There's nowhere open, not even the motel." "It's fine," he whispered. "Just drop me anywhere. I'll figure something out." "No," she said immediately. "You're freezing, and the storm is getting worse." She didn't know him. She knew that. But leaving him to freeze felt like something she would never forgive herself for. "Look," she sighed, "I have a guest room. You can stay until the morning." The man stared at her with disbelief, as if no one had been kind to him in years. "Are you sure?" he asked quietly. "Yes," she said. "I'm sure." Her house was small, but warm. She handed him a towel, dry clothes that belonged to her ex-husband, and pointed him to the guest room. Later, she made 2 mugs of hot cocoa and sat at the kitchen table while the storm screamed outside. He joined her, looking slightly more alive. "What's your name?" she asked. "Daniel." She nodded. "Natalie." He smiled faintly, then looked down at his cup. "You didn't have to help me." "I know." A long pause. "It's been a hard year," she admitted. "Quiet. Too quiet. Maybe helping you helped me too." Daniel wrapped his hands around the mug as if absorbing its warmth. "Same here. I came back because my mother passed last month, and we weren't on good terms. I thought coming home would give me some answers." He swallowed hard. "But I only found regrets." Natalie felt her chest tighten. Grief had its own temperature, just as cold as winter. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "My fault," he murmured. "I pushed her away." Sometimes people didn't need advice. They just needed someone who would listen. And that night, While the snow thickened and the storm curled around the house, Natalie listened. Morning came quietly. The town was buried in white, the sun glinting off rooftops like diamonds. Daniel was clearing her walkway with a shovel he found in her garage. "You didn't have to do that," she called from the doorway. He smiled. "You saved me last night. Least I could do." But the day took an unexpected turn. A knock came at her door. 2 firefighters searching for a missing resident. "Have you seen this man?" one asked, holding up a photo on a tablet. Natalie froze. It was Daniel, but thinner, sadder, and wearing the same coat from last night. "Yes," she said slowly. "He's here." The firefighter exhaled in relief. "We've been looking for him since last evening. He left his car after breaking down but didn't tell anyone. His sister reported him missing." Daniel stepped forward. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I didn't think anyone would worry." His voice carried shame, but his eyes carried something else. Fear of being a burden. His sister soon arrived, rushing to him with tears streaming down her face. "Daniel, why didn't you call? We thought—" She hugged him tightly, trembling. Daniel looked over her shoulder at Natalie, his eyes soft with gratitude. That moment, raw, emotional, human, felt like a second chance unfolding right in front of her. When the firefighters left and his sister drove him home, Daniel walked back to Natalie one last time. "I owe you more than a thank you," he said sincerely. "You didn't just help me. You reminded me that I deserve help." Natalie felt her own eyes sting. "And you reminded me that winter doesn't have to feel lonely." He hesitated. "Would it be okay if I checked on you sometime? Just as a friend?" Her smile warmed the cold air between them. "I'd like that." As he walked away, the winter sun caught on the snow, scattering light everywhere. Soft, hopeful, and gentle. Natalie stood there quietly, realizing that sometimes the coldest nights bring the warmest beginnings. Thank you for watching this heart-melting winter tale on DYLN Stories. If this story touched your heart, warmed your evening, or reminded you of the power of kindness, you're always welcome here. See you in the next video. And remember, kindness truly changes everything.